If you want to have an elite level physique, you have to have an elite level mindset. Every other day we'd be doing an ice bath. I don't know about you, but I don't want to look like Ronnie Coleman. And my physique is still athletic. I said I'd have a gift for you, and I do. Have you ever wanted to look like an elite level athlete? I'm talking Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland, the guys in the Premier League. Well, I spent 10 years at Crystal Palace, ages 8 to 18. When I was 16, I finished school and I went full time. I'm gonna talk to you about 6 things I learned playing for a Premier League academy on how to build an athletic physique. And trust me, it's gonna shock you at how simple it is. And make sure you stick around for the last point, because trust me, that's gonna be a game changer for you. So I ain't gonna waste any time, let's get straight into it. The very first point is strength training. At Crystal Palace, we did a lot of heavy weight strength training, and it wasn't crazy, but at least 1 to 2 times per week, we'd be in the weight room. We'd do your basic movements like squats, deadlifting, bench pressing, pull-ups, push-ups, but we wouldn't focus on a lot of volume. We'd focus on moving a lot of weight and being powerful and strong at the same time. My recommendation to you is do weight training. At the end of the day, we had to balance it with training every day plus games on the weekend, so we couldn't go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. You might be able to do about 3, 4, or 5 sessions a week, which is good enough. Most top level athletes are hitting the gym and doing some form of heavy weight training, so you should do the same. Being stronger meant that we were less likely to get injured. You were able to strengthen your ligaments and your joints, and it helped you increase your power and the capacity of your muscles. All of this is critical to changing your physique and also building an athletic physique, which we all would like to have. I don't know about you, but I don't want to look like Ronnie Coleman. Point number 2, which is fairly obvious, but a ton of cardio. I mean, I was training every single day, probably 8 to 10 hours of training per week. Then you add in a game on a weekend. I was easily doing over 12 or 15 hours of football, which is a ton of running. I was easily clearing 20 or 30,000 steps per day. I didn't have a tracker back then, but I probably was. The thing is, you probably won't be able to do this. I was doing it full time, I was getting paid. You probably need to just do 10,000 steps a day. So just let that be your benchmark, because that's gonna be more than enough to make sure that you can have an athletic physique. You do not have to train as much as I did back then, because I don't even do that now. And my physique is still athletic. I don't wanna hear no excuses about, oh, I don't have time to do 10K steps a day. It's more than possible. About 10 minutes of walking is roughly 1,000 steps. So if you're telling me that you can't do 100 minutes of walking a day, get on the treadmill, walk in between your sets. It really is that simple. Point number 3 is R&R, rest and recovery. You probably thought I was talking about some like R&B music group. No, rest and recovery is vital. It's critical. Every other day we'd be doing an ice bath. I was doing stretching and foam rolling, making sure I'm getting sleep. All of this is critical to my recovery, because every time you train hard, especially doing weight training, you're creating these little micro tears in the muscle. These micro tears, they recover, and that's how you get stronger. So if you're not resting and recovering optimally, then you cannot be fit and fresh for your next session. So we'd have to really focus on rest and recovery. You should do the same. I'm not saying you need to ice bath every week, but you should make sure you're at least doing some stretching, some foam rolling, a little cycling to flush out the legs every other day. It is going to make a huge difference, and that's pretty much how you can have the longevity of footballers like Ryan Giggs, Ronaldo right now, Messi. Do you think that they're not recovering? They have to, because they know how vital it is to rest and recover so they can be fresh all season and have that athletic looking physique. Oh, an honorable mention, sleep. You've got to be getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Kind of back to the original point, but when you sleep, that's when your body's basically recharging, it's rebooting. And if you're not getting a good amount of sleep, then your body is not having an opportunity to reboot itself. Do you think that Ronaldo turns around and goes to bed at 2 a.m. when he knows he has to be up for training at 8? Doesn't make sense. You need to make sure you're getting a good, solid night's rest so you can be at peak performance every single day. Point number 4 is nutrition. Now, like I said, I was at Crystal Palace. At the time I was there, you had players like Mile Jedinak, Wilfred Zaha, Balassi, Dwight Gale. You would think that these guys would be eating something different. They ate like everybody else. Chicken, beef, fish, rice, pasta, vegetables. You have to have a solid diet. The difference between people that are elite and that are not elite is that they manage their diet all the time. So they're not drinking excessively. They're not eating cakes and biscuits every single day. There's a limitation on the poor quality foods in their diet. And that's how you can be successful and build an athletic physique. In fact, I would argue that that's the most important part of the physique. If all you do is eat all the time, you are going to look like Having a high protein diet was key, at least 30 to 40 grams with every single meal. And even after training, they would give us protein shakes. We used to use Optimum Nutrition. By the way, you can get 20% off of anything on Optimum Nutrition website using my code Spectrum2022. Point number 5, and I know this is gonna hurt, but you've probably heard the stories of footballers turning up to training drunk, hungover, not sleeping, been out on the lash the night before, rolled up into training and still done well. Yeah, you do get footballers that can do that. In fact, I know footballers that smoke. But if you want to have an elite level physique, you need to cut out the drink. My advice would be to just cut it out completely. You don't have to go completely teetotal. You could just say to yourself, I'm only going to drink once a month. Keep it minimal. Alcohol is absolutely trash. It's not doing anything for you. It's ruining your body. Elite level athletes aren't doing it. They've got elite level physiques. You want to have an athletic physique like the Premier League stars. Can't be drinking that crap all the time. I'm sorry. I know it hurts. I'm sorry though, but it's just the facts. And the final point, the point you've been waiting for, consistency. Elite level athletes, people with elite level physiques, the only reason that they are elite is because they are bloody consistent. They do it week after week after week after week without fail. They don't quit. They don't give up when it gets hard. They know that hard times are going to come. They stick to their nutrition, their diet, their training every single week. If you want to have an elite level physique, you have to have an elite level mindset. And that's what I noticed when I was in the Premier League with these players. I was only in the academy, but we got to train with them. We got to be around them. And they're just consistent, man. They show up every day. They do what they have to do every day. The ones that didn't do it every day, they didn't make it that far. That's just how it goes. That's how life is. Obviously, some people are talented, but we're not talking about talent today. I said I'd have a gift for you, and I do. I've completely redone my Elite Health Journal. It's my weekly newsletter where I give away free workouts, free nutrition guides, free recipe packs for anybody that is on the email list. It is not a spam list. It is a weekly newsletter where I give away a ton of value. I've actually put the link in the description. If you want to know a little bit more about what life is like as a Premier League Academy player, just watch this video right here.